If you have vehicles out on the road, let's be honest, your biggest costs probably come from the things you just can't see. We're talking about wasted fuel, drivers taking inefficient routes, maybe someone's safe habits. It all adds up fast. Well, in this explainer, we're going to flip the switch, turn the lights on, and show you exactly how to go from being in the dark to making decisive money-saving actions. Let's get right into it.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about those fleet blind spots, the ones that are quietly costing you money every single day. Then, we'll define what fleet visibility actually means. After that, we'll dive into the power of data. This is the good stuff. We'll also break down the specific benefits for your role, whether you're the owner or the fleet manager, and we'll wrap up with a simple, actionable first step you can take right away. All right, so let's start with the problem. I'm talking about those daily frustrations, those hidden costs, and all the operational headaches that happen just because you don't really know what's going on once your vehicles and your drivers leave the yard. And I want you to really think about that for a second. Do you really know? I'm not talking about a vague idea of where your trucks might be. I mean, do you know this very second which driver has been idling for the last half hour, just burning fuel, or who had to slam on their brakes a minute ago to avoid an accident? For most businesses, the honest answer is nope. And when the answer is nope, it leads directly to all of these headaches. That truck that's idling, it's literally burning cash. That unsafe driving, that's your next insurance claim just waiting to happen. Unauthorized side trips, bad routes, surprise breakdowns, every single one of these is a blind spot, and every single one is a drain on your bottom line. The famous management guru Peter Drucker absolutely nailed it with this one. This is the core of the whole issue. If you're operating in the dark, there's just no way to make things better. To fix all those problems we just talked about, you have to be able to see them first. You have to measure them. And that right there is our transition from the problem to the solution. So if the problem is a lack of vision, the solution is, well, it's gaining it. So let's define exactly what we're talking about when we say fleet visibility, because trust me, it's a lot more than just seeing dots on a map. Okay, at its core, fleet visibility is pretty simple. It's all about using technology like GPS and vehicle telematics to get a constant, accurate stream of data. It's about swapping out all that guesswork for actual ground truth. You can see not just where your vehicles are, but how they're actually performing right this second. Okay, so seeing everything is one thing, but the real magic, the part that actually affects your business, happens when you turn that vision into action. This is where data stops being just, a bunch of information and starts becoming your single most powerful tool for savings, for safety, and for growth. This slide shows that huge shift from being reactive to being proactive. Over on the left, that's the old way. You're guessing at arrival times, you're reacting when a truck breaks down, you're always dealing with problems after they've already happened. But look at the right side. With real-time data, you are way ahead of the game. You're tracking ETAs alive. You're getting maintenance alerts before a vehicle breaks down. That is the difference between constantly playing catch-up and actually being in control. And this proactive shift, it has real, tangible results. Let's talk about fuel for a second, probably one of your top 2 expenses. Just by using data to find and reduce excessive idling, businesses are seeing an average fuel cost reduction of around 15%. I mean, think about that. We had one customer who discovered their team was idling for an hour and a half every day during lunch. Just fixing that one thing saved them thousands. Imagine that across your whole fleet. It's massive. And it goes way beyond just cost savings. This is about safety. It's about your people. When you can see things like hard braking, speeding, or rapid acceleration, you can actually coach safer driving habits. A 20% drop in accidents? That means your team is safer, your insurance premiums are lower, and your vehicles are out on the road making money, not sitting in a repair shop. And this is the other side of the coin. We've talked about saving money. Now let's talk about making more money. When you have better visibility, you can have smarter dispatching and way more efficient routes. That means you can fit more jobs into the same day with the exact same number of vehicles. A 25% increase in productivity isn't just a cost saving, it's a revenue-generating machine. So here's the bottom line. These numbers for fuel, for safety, for productivity, they aren't just stats for a report. This is your competitive advantage. In a tough market, having this kind of edge is what separates the businesses that thrive from the ones that are just trying to survive. So we've looked at the big picture benefits, but what does all of this actually mean for you in your specific role? Let's break it down.
If you're the business owner, this is probably what you care about most: profitability. Every single dollar you save on fuel or gain from an extra job completed goes straight to your bottom line. Honestly, fleet visibility gives you one of the clearest and fastest returns on investment you can make. And for all the fleet managers out there, think of this as your new command center. We know your job is a constant juggling act: safety, maintenance, compliance, drivers. It's a lot. This data gives you the tools to manage all of that from a single dashboard. It turns a chaotic job into a controlled, proactive operation. And for the executives, the ones always looking at the big picture, this is your strategic lens. To grow a business, you need data. You need to know about asset utilization, operational efficiency, and risk. Fleet visibility delivers exactly that: the high-level data you need to make smart decisions about how to scale things effectively. So what's the common thread that ties all these roles and benefits together? It's a unified platform. It's having a single source of truth like Responsible Fleet GPS that takes all this complicated data and makes it simple, accessible, and actionable for everyone, from the manager in the office to the owner looking at the P&L sheet. Now, look, all this information is powerful, but it's only valuable if you actually do something with it. So let's get to our final section: your actionable plan to get started. And getting started is way more straightforward than you might think. First, just identify your biggest pain point. Is it your fuel bill? Is it safety concerns? Productivity? Start there. Second, see the technology in action. A demo will show you exactly how a system like Responsible Fleet GPS can solve your specific problem. And finally, you implement the solution and you empower your team with the data. It's that simple. I'll leave you with this thought: every single day that goes by without this kind of insight is another day of unnecessary costs, another day of risks you don't need to take, and another day of missed opportunities. You can't go back and change yesterday, but you can absolutely make the decision to move forward right now. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about for your own business. Is it the fuel that's constantly being wasted, the risk of a serious accident, or the inefficiency that's holding back your company's growth? What's the one blind spot you just can't afford to have tomorrow? The technology to get rid of it is here. Thanks for watching.